Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at thetechtrader.com. It's Thursday night, January 28th, and these are the charts of the day. Well, a really volatile day today on Wall Street. We gapped up, we came down, we moved up again, pulled back, and then closed strong. After hours, all kinds of stuff going up and down. Amazon down, Microsoft up. It's just a wild market. And tomorrow's Friday, so we shall see what happens. It should be an interesting day. I'm going to go over some longs today that acted very well during this market rally. Let's take a look at AMDA. Now, AMDA is a low-priced spec stock, medical stock, but I hear they have some good stuff going on, and it certainly exploded from the $1.20 range up to $3.50 today, and we nailed that high. And the reason I gave you this target there is simply this zone here where this was resistance. If it does extend, I can see 4.5, 3/4, but not much more than that short term before we pull back. There is also a very small short position according to this, so I'm not overly enthusiastic about it beyond maybe tomorrow morning. Looking at the ultra short biotechs, I'm still amazed how far the biotechs have come down. Looking just quickly at BIB, you can see how this is plunged in a 5-wave decline, and now at the bottom of the channel, lateral resistance across the lows from 2014. This could be a place where the biotechs get a good rally, or it could extend a little bit further, getting down to the mid to high 30s before it turns around, but the BIB is quite oversold. Same with the BIS. It's extremely overbought short term, having gone from under 28 to as high as 46 today, 46.60. And we had a target of 45 and 46, and the stock did run up in that zone. You can see that overhead resistance now exists somewhere around the 49.50 zone up here. And that could be the extension if we do get a further pullback in biotechs. But I think it's due for a rest, and I think that the LABU and the BIB could have rebounds. We'll get to that a little later. Oil's doing very well indeed, and I think it's because some of the foreign countries like Saudi Arabia are finally coming to their senses about having to do production cuts to shore up prices. But we'll see. Looking at some of the instruments in some of the oil stocks, in particular, the ERX is acting a bit better. A nice recovery from 13 up to nearly 19. Actually, 1902 is the high. And there's resistance right there, not only from the prior high, but the declining 21 period moving average. If we get through that, your next target is 22, everybody. Keep your eye on ERX going forward. I will also point out to you that there is a declining topsline that comes in right about here, which could thwart this advance and push it back for a retest. Or if we get through, it could be a good sign that we're headed to 21, 23 before a pullback does occur. So watch this level. It's very important for ERX in particular. The other oils I want to talk about today is the UCO and USO. Looking at this has actually broken out across a resistance level. But this too has a declining top line not far from here. And that's up about the 10.25 area, maybe 10.5. So if we do get an extension of that area, there may be some place to take profits. Your next target, however, would be up near this gap in lateral resistance, coming in about 11.40, 45. So let's call it 10.25 and then 11.25, something like that. And the USO, very similar, having come up to resistance in this area with some pretty good volume, but you can see how heavy the volume was on the downside. So obviously with multiple waves down, having dropped from 16.5 down to 8, I'm not surprised we're getting this kind of rally. The question is how far. Next target on the USO is about the 10.75, 11 zone. Now, Facebook had a great day today, no question. When you look at the overall chart, this was a spectacular earnings report, and from talking to analysts and institutions, they loved it. It can very well extend if the market extends, and I'd be looking for 118 as my next target. Big day for biotech INXN. Not too many had them. And look at this. Late in the day, it exploded from about 28.90 up to 31.20. A huge move in a short period of time. Looking at the daily chart, it looks like that. And you can see that there is a major highs in this zone coming across here. So this is resistance. Should we blow through that, it wouldn't shock me to see a quick test of 33, 33.5 range. Now longer term, you can see the stock's been in a beautiful rising pattern, only flattened out with the biotechs. First to come down from the March period, then they run up into November and roll over. This is a key line across here. connecting all these lows. It exploded off that. So watch this one going forward, INXN. LABD is the short side of the biotech group, and it's had a big move. We featured it a couple days ago when it had that wedge, and I said it could very well, if it holds the 50-52 area, run back up to as high as 90. Now, I'm not saying we're going to 90, but if we do extend the biotech drop, watch for a spike up towards 88, 90, something like that, and then a reversal. Same thing on the LABU. LABU is getting blasted. And you can see that some layers of support have been taken out. The resistance could not be taken out 1030, I mentioned the other day. And now it's actually down right at, or very near, the bottom of this long-term channel. And you can see how from 22 down to 6, an absolute destruction in a very short period of time with heavy volume. The heaviest downside volume ever experienced in the stock, nearly 14 million shares today. So either it halts it right here and rebounds with the market, or we could see the stock down to 5, 5.5, 6 very easily if the LABD spikes up near 90. It could be an interesting next day or two, and a very volatile one at that. So we'll leave it at that for now. Up next is MLNX. Mellanox had a nice pop and breakout across the declining top line, lateral resistance, and all three moving averages in one day today. When I see that kind of volume, 2 million shares, which is nearly the best volume in what, a couple, 3 months, and a breakout across resistance, I look for the next target, and that's up around 48. So that's what I'm looking for on MLNX going forward with 4.3 days to cover. NEOS, interesting stuff here. Big day for NEOS with some positive news. Drug related, the stock gapped, ran, and exploded. We traded that nicely in the morning. It did pull way back from 1520 to close at 1338, but it was still up nearly 4 points or 42% on whopping 4.1 million. That's huge. It closed right above the 50. So I'm going to give this the benefit of the doubt and say I think it may follow through, and I'm looking for 16.5 3/4 as my target going forward. That's a test of that zone. Or it may just consolidate and then go, but watch today's low. That's going to be key. Under 12, you're out. Rovi. Well, this swing trade's acting great. And I got to say that I'm pleased with the way it held during the decline, flagging here while the market fell apart, and now it's edging its way higher. It's not exploding or anything, but not getting too far ahead of itself either. The high from April, around 1990-20 zone, would be my short-term target. And then I'd look for 23. Solars did great today with the California ruling. The sun run, popped out of this little flag and got up to resistance. Next targets are 11 and 12.5. 3.9 days to cover. Up 20% today with good volume. SEDG didn't pop as much. A little disappointed, but it did go up 55 cents. It does have a fantastic chart. I really like the look of the breakout here, up to resistance and pull back to support near the rising 50 and the trend line. And look at the move up since then. Probably should have given you a swing on this one, whatever reverse right there. But it's gone from 22 to 28. There is resistance right about 30. When we get through 30, I'm looking for 34.5 range. Under Armour with a big session, great move, up 15.5 or 22.5% on 18.5 million. Record volume for the stock. Big breakaway gap, leaving kind of an island in here. Today's low is key support for me. I don't want it under 78, that's my stop. But I think it has a shot at getting to 89 and then 93. Those are my targets going forward if we can get it to extend beyond here. 6.5 days to cover. Those guys are trapped. And XON, another biotech that did well today, popping 5 points from 27 to 32.5 and settling back to 29. Still up 263 or 10%. With 9 days to cover, I feel a reason it backed off as it got up above the moving average and near lateral resistance in that zone, which is key, and backed off. But it closed right at the breakout point. And a little disappointed with that close, but I like the volume of 6.3 million, and I like the fact it moved through the declining tops line. And although it didn't hold it, my target is going to be 33 and as high as 37, 38 if this thing extends. Keep an eye on this one. There's 9 days to cover as well. And folks, that's it for this evening. You guys have a good one, and I will talk to you in the trading room tomorrow. Bye-bye.